by Shadow Warrior, and I am Poon. We had a shoutcast the game between University of Auckland's Dream versus University of Tasmania Wood Warriors 7, and a very, very exciting game here. I mean, we have the team that came second last semester in the form of Dream, so very, very strong team here, and also the winning team of Tasmania on the right side. So we're for a very, very good match here. What are your thoughts on this matchup, Shadow Warrior?
Like you said, it is the number 2 team of last semester coming across what is essentially a newbie team who hasn't really participated yet in any tournaments coming out from the University of Tasmania. So this will be a good time to prove their name, if any.
Oh, actually, a quick leave there by the side of University of Auckland, so not quite sure what the issue was there. 2 members actually leaving, but yeah, as you mentioned before, side of Tasmania have... sorry guys, the lobby is actually blind pick opposed to tournament draft, so we'll quickly get around to fixing that. Shouldn't take too long. Apologies for the inconvenience and all, but yeah, someone decided to make that blind pick opposed to draft, so quickly fix that up. But yeah, definitely a good starting place for the team of Wood Warriors to kind of make a name for themselves. I mean, definitely the underdog, but gonna come into this game against one of the better teams. Obviously the best team in New Zealand, but one of the better teams in the region. Better work? No?
Yep. Hopefully, no. Were you about to say something?
Oh no, I was just saying that it'd be a good starting point for the side of Tasmania to kind of prove themselves, if any.
This is definitely a good starting point, but it won't be an easy game into the University of Auckland. All of these players are in middle to high challenger. So, and obviously Team Dream from the University of Auckland have played together for a very long time, substituting out a few players, especially Bark. He's been missing his ADC. I'll get his name up in a second, but last time they were just an unstoppable bot lane, and this will just be a super hard game for the University of Tasmania. But if they want to make their name, this is one of the best times to do it.
Yeah, most definitely, and as you mentioned before, Bark being one of the better players in New Zealand, I mean, very well known, used to play for the team that was known as Villains, who was actually one of the Challenger Series teams, last season. So, a very renowned player, very used to this tournament bracket. But yeah, hopefully these teams get in order and come in really quickly, because it's taken quite a while. And let's see what they pick in terms of, I mean, high priority picks I have to feel are going to go towards, a lot of bans are going to have to go towards the mid lane and the top lane, because it's so hard to ban Liberty out. I mean, an ADC that plays so many positions, so many champions, yeah. I'd be worried if he played every position equally as good, but yeah. What are your thoughts on their teams?
Definitely will be a lot of top lane focus. We've seen the Garen ban last game. We've just seen all of these, just, you know, top lane tanky sort of picks, and with the new items and with the uncertainty of these changes, I'm pretty certain that teams will be hesitant to pick them up, especially seeing as their team members haven't had a lot of time to play on them, and they won't want to go into them because they haven't had that much experience going into those champions.
Yeah, so as you mentioned before, the team of UoA actually playing a lot together, and actually probably one of the favorites for this, actually, you know, to take out this whole tournament, you know, let alone this match. So we'll see what the underdogs in the side of UOT here can do. But I mean, maybe if they get onto comfort champions, I mean, I know that Sabtars, even though he's an ADC in this, maybe plus some Fiora cheese, I'm not quite sure. I'm just gonna try sort out this lobby real quickly. Actually, we might kick the stream back up in a minute or so once we've actually sorted out the lobby, because there's some... in terms of getting everyone in the lobby, because Shadow Warrior isn't in as of yet. Can you spectate the game if we... Yeah, I'm trying to sort this out. One sec.
Fuck. Got it.
Okay.
Got it.
Okay, sweet. Sorry guys for the inconvenience. Just gonna try and sort this all out. Okay,
There we
awesome.
go.
Is everything everything in check?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Okay, sorry about all that inconvenience, guys. Finally getting into the game, and really interesting what they ban away. I mean, there's a plethora of champions that the team of UoA can pull out, and I'm kind of intrigued to see if they play out anything, nichey or anything cheesy, just for the fun of it, because I mean, quite a low stakes situation playing against a kind of unknown team inside of UOT.
Yeah, the University of Tasmania is coming in as sort of a team that nobody's really heard of. They've yet to make their name, but that comes with a lot of benefits, such as the fact that you can't really ban them out because you're not quite certain who they play. You don't know their team synergies. You haven't been watching necessarily their team practices. You don't know what sort of strategies they go for, whether it's all in, whether it's disengage, whether it's sort of sustained through a lot of damage. So it really will be interesting to see how University of Tasmania deal with this sort of mystery that they have coming in.
Actually, a Callista ban going across, which might be towards Liberty. Liberty, a very good Callista player, but Liberty, as I mentioned before, has a very, very extensive champion pool. I mean, can play anything from Graves to Lucian to Caitlyn to Jinx to, not really worth banning out the Callista, in my opinion. I mean, you could pick up something like a Nautilus to try counter the Callista, but apart from that, it's quite a weird ban. I mean, almost a waste of a ban, if you will. But nonetheless, gonna ban away the Elise and the Victor as well. And on the right side, the blue side, should I say, the Tom Kench and Gregor's band, and looking towards the last band here, Shadow Warrior.
With all of these new tanks, like we were talking about earlier, it really is just on the table, Anybody can really go up, but I do think that it's either going to be one of the tanky ones or a Mordekaiser, like you said, sort of that mystery factor. We don't quite know how he's going to play, how it's going to go, so that may also be an interesting way to see things. It could just really be anything at this point.
Yeah, there's actually so many picks left up. I mean, they've taken away two of the OPs, if you will. I mean, they're at least the Victor, but I mean, Bark, an extremely good Alistar player. I mean, I've versed it a couple of times in solo queue, very, very scary player. And there's also, what else is left up? They have a lot of the Juggernaut champions left up. There's still Skarn, Mordekaiser, Garen, and Darius who have had changes made to them. And if they do pick these up, I mean, it can be extremely scary. I mean, I don't want to see a Dragon Pet, poking away to the side of UOT or UoA, depending who picks it up. But the bot lane is going to be picked up by the side of UOT. It's going to be the Janna and the Tristana. What are your thoughts on this, Shadow Warrior?
Janna and Tristana, this is a very late game combo. This is somebody who wants to sort of just stand in the back line and just deal damage, essentially. And with the Janna there, and also with the disengage Tristana has with her own both ultimate and with her rocket jump, it's going to be so safe to sort of just stand back and deal that consistent amount of damage.
Yeah, Tristana, one of those late game carries, but also very strong in lane, and Janna just going to help the Tristana carry this game with, those shields, and also if she opts for that Zex Harbinger, an item that we've seen recently, added quite recently by Riot, that can really enhance the ADC in terms of the damage they deal. I mean, if you add it to an ADC for the 8 seconds that it is active, it offers 50% crit chance increase, which is so much damage if you have a 2-item, 3-item ADC. And if you add to an AP, assuming that the mid lane is fed, it gives a 20% increase in AP for 8 seconds. So that is so much damage coming across if they can get one of those rolls fed. But on the left side, we have LU on the Aurelia, we have 021 on that Nidalee, which is a very strong player, seen it a lot in solo queue, does so much work, and going to be almost in the jungle of Shados probably majority of the game with those spears, the bushwhack, and also the execute on the Q in the form of her Cougar form. So we'll see how much damage she can do. And Tam Jong picking up that what seems like a mid lane rumble. What are your thoughts on this team comp on the left?
Ooh, mid lane rumble. I'm not quite certain what to make of that. Obviously, Rumble has been buffed, especially with the recent AP item changes. Most noticeably, the Leandry's change, where Leandry's got pretty much 40 extra AP for only a minor amount of extra gold. So that was one of the major buffs to Rumble. Rumble can do a lot of damage right now, and he's just ripping through teamfights as we see in all sorts of regions. So that will definitely help them a lot in teamfight and in early dragon control.
Yeah, and Liberty and Bark picking up two very strong bot lane champions. Liberty on that Draven and Bark on that Alistair, and that is a lot of kill potential. I mean, one pulverize headbutt combo, even a level 2 flash pulverize can do so much damage to the side of UOT, and Bark very comfortable on that Alistair. I mean, one of his mains. So we'll see what they can do and to what effect they can use that duo against something like the Tristana and that Janna on the side of UOT.
They definitely need to take the lead early, but it's something that Draven and Alistair have the potential to do, because Alistair just pretty much holds them into place, which is the exact thing that Draven needs to just dish out that damage over and over again in the form of his spinning axes. So early game trades probably going to go over to Liberty and Bark. But if they don't manage to shut down Tristana, then she's just going to be an absolute menace late game.
Yeah, Liberty, if he does get that early kill on the Draven, gets that, you know, he might opt for the Bloodthirster into last Whisper, or maybe even the Bloodthirster into the Yomu's Ghostblade. So much penetration, so much lifesteal, and it's so much damage on Draven. If you first back with a BF sword, you're gonna come back to lane and start bullying this Tristana and that Janna so much. I mean, Janna's such a squishy support. If you can make it catch onto her and dish out that damage with Draven, with Alistair, even couple that with a gank by Nidalee, it's going to be so easy to snowball this Draven out of control. And if the side of UOT do let this Draven get ahead, there's not really much things they can do to kind of stop him. I mean, they have the Fire ult, but I mean, what else can they do?
That's pretty much it. I really do want to see just how well this Nidalee does, though, because Nidalee just is one of those champions, especially after a rework, that has potential to just do a lot of damage in unfair trades.
Yeah, I mean, Nidalee can just freely trade, and with strong laners, I mean, Tam Jong on that Rumble, might have a hard time against the mid lane Zafro onto that LeBlanc, but Tam Jong, if he can get those electric harpoons across, get that flame spitter across and harass him through the wave, then it's going to be extremely strong for him in this mid lane. And if Rumble gets that 1 item, 2 item spike, I mean, can opt for that Leandry's most likely first item with Sorcerer's Shoes, and also get a Rylized. That's so much slow and burn at the same time. You can do so much damage at these dragon fights around the level 9, level 11 mark.
So Dragon's going to have a lot of control. I think that if we take a look at sort of the direction this game is going to go in, it's going to be really gank intensive, it's going to be really dragon fight intensive, and that just makes for a really good game.
Yeah, and top lane Jace into something like LU on that Aurelia, it's going to be interesting to see what he can do, if he can bully LU on that Aurelia. LU, a very strong Aurelia player, and it's going to be interesting to see what he can do, if he can capitalize this lane, try push them in, try get that Sheen spike and maybe capitalize on that also. But I kind of feel that if the matchup is even, Jace has the upper hand. I mean, he has the range advantage, he has the poke, and Aurelia not known for being a strong early laner.
Well, Aurelia sort of has the flip side of Tristana, in the sense that if you just let her go out of control, then eventually she's going to become this late game monster that you are going to have a lot of trouble with dealing with. So, you know, it really will be interesting to see whether either of these two champions are allowed to essentially just have a free lane and farm until late.
Yeah, UOT actually lacking, you know, a traditional tank. The closest thing they have to a tank is Happy Camper on Survive, but she may opt for that warrior build, even Devourer instead of maybe the Cinderhawk. So we'll see. That'll be very interesting. But if they were play this game out properly, then I would expect the Cinderhawk, seeing as they have no tank. I mean, Jason not really a tank, Janna not a tank at all. So it makes it really important that Vi does the majority of the tanking for the side of UOT at this game.
You're absolutely right, and Jace's one of Jace's really strong points is that he can push down towers really fast. So if they decide to do a lane swap, or if they decide to do a sort of 3 or 4v0 style game that we see in really high professional matches, then Jace might have an advantage there. But if he doesn't manage to find an advantage in a 1v1 lane, then he's going to have a little bit of trouble transitioning into teamfights.
And invade a very real thing that may happen in this game. I mean, Bark on the Alistair can walk in, start pulverizing. If they can catch them by surprise, maybe a flash, Q5 and knock up, the dream. But not much damage to, coupled with that flash knockup. I mean, Aurelia can start the equilibrium strike, her E, and try to get some stuns across. But apart from that, not much damage. I mean, Rumble can do a lot of AoE damage. Draven can keep those axes spinning, and they get the slight lead. Like I've mentioned before, it's going to be out of control on the side of Dream.
So it really will be up to Dream to get this Draven ahead a lot, get him some kills so that he can pop his passive, give him some time to maybe farm up his passive, but I believe that Liberty, if he plays this correct, has so much potential to carry. Yeah, as we head on to the Rift right now.
Exactly, we have Liberty walking towards with this team. They actually might go to this invade, as I mentioned before, and actually the team of UoT reading it very well. Gonna put down the ward there, gonna catch them, try to invade this, and Zephyro just gonna take some auto attacks, maybe take a Q up in here. Actually, no, she started W, so only gonna have that leap, not much damage. And Zephyro actually very, very ambitious there. Bark slightly gonna miss that pulverized combo, but very aggressive start there by both teams.
O2 taking a little bit of damage there, but surely he's just going the wall and back. This isn't too much of an issue though. It's just standard, you're just trying to get a little bit of vision on the enemy, see, sort of psych them out, see what they're trying to do. Managed to move Happy Camper on to maybe start on their red side. No, decides to change his mind. But yeah, it's just a little bit of psych out and a little bit of extra knowledge to maybe mirror the jungling paths and then they can gank at the same time.
Something I actually have to bring up right now is that O2 had put a trap down at red, so gonna start with that red, gonna go for invade most likely, and it's pretty good for the Nidalee player in terms of having to be able to maybe first blood Happy Camper here on that Nid, but the issue with this is that Liberty can't have two axes spinning by the time he gets to lane, which is something you can do from Krugs and Grump alike. So we'll see what the payoff is here, and if O2 can get that first blood across Happy Camper, it's going to be very demoralizing for the side of UoT, and a very big goal boost in O2's pocket.
You definitely just want to get the mind games going, you want to say, my ADC is super strong, he knows exactly how to play the champion that he's on, and that really psychs out the enemy team. So a very early and safe clear by O2 on Nidalee here. This is sort of something that Nidalee jungles don't really have a problem with ever since traps now snare the jungle whenever they walk over it. So, an early invade going on onto Happy Camper here.
Yeah, O2, as I mentioned before, actually going to land the spear, and actually might get the kill here. Happy Camper is so low, and O2 slightly not enough damage there, but Happy Camper going to be forced off her blue, and might actually lose it to O2 here. Very unfortunate by O2, and very lucky by Happy Camper there to actually live. Very tight. LoL slightly on Sabotage there, bit of back and forth, but not going to be worried too much. Has that pot advantage since he did start a camp and TP top lane, so a lot of damage going on to Bill Gate here. Bark very good pulverize, Liberty getting some damage, and Bill Gate actually might be taken down here. Ignite, slightly not enough, and that Biscuit going to leave him alive, and very, very lucky play there by the side of UoT, and very unfortunate by Liberty and Bark, but because the kill did go across, it would be very strong for Liberty and Bark.
Billy Gate lived by a sliver of health there, so that was really nice mechanical play to just quickly tap on the Biscuit just then and get a little bit of health back. But yeah, that kill, if Liberty got it, would have really sent him so far ahead, especially in the lane.
Yeah, LU and Sabotage just kind of looking at each other top lane, and so much damage she's going across both lanes. Little back and forth in mid lane. O2 dead and gank, and actually might kill Sephiroth here. Sephiroth's taken so low. Will the spear connect? And no, it gets flashed away. But O2 so much pressure on the map already, and it's only 4 minutes in.
This is something that Nidalees do. They don't necessarily jungle in the traditional sense that they, kill the jungle buff, but they rather just try and fight as many people as they can. And because that is Nidalee's strength early, Whoa.
O2 actually getting the kill across onto Happy Camper, yeah. Disgusting invade there, getting the red as well, and Spear going slightly left, but so much pressure there by O2 on that Nidalee, just doing work across the map, and Very strong Lily player, obviously, and such good plays there across map by UoA, sorry.
O2 definitely knows the strengths of this champion, you know, and obviously this strength is early game no items when you just do ridiculous base damage because you got 2 forms, so you essentially have 4 abilities at level 2. He just knows exactly how to play this.
Definitely knows his limits, you know, obviously granted that late night solo queue, playing that champion, and I mean, we've seen slight niggly nerfs, but obviously not phasing O2 here on the champion, and bot lane is see already, Liberty and Bark demanding their respect and, you know, zoning out the side of UOT here, but very, very strong play here by both bot lanes, and UOT doing their best. A little back and forth here by Zafaro and Tam Jong, but Tam Jong just going to shield it away with a scrap shield and put some damage down with that flame splitter.
Liberty's getting quite far ahead, so it really will be up to Shados to follow this, but actually a lot of damage goes down, and Tam Jong, unfortunately, will have to do a 1-for-1 trade in the mid lane. But a Rumble and LeBlanc trade, what do you think, what do you make of that?
Well, LeBlanc is one of those champions traditionally that does snowball out of control with a slight lead, but Rumble, gonna go for that Negatron cloak first item, gonna turn that into what seems like a potential Abyssal Scepter, which is quite strong. I mean, although there's only one AP threat, it means that the top lane, the jungle Nidalee, and also the mid lane Rumble can do a lot of damage. I mean, the AoE magic resist takeaway that the Abyssal Scepter offers is so good, but as you see in the mid lane, it's kind of advantageous at this point for Zafro in terms of the wave, because the wave did freeze outside the turret of Tam Jong, which might be pretty bad for Zafro.
LeBlanc does have many ways to escape a gank, which is probably what O2 has been thinking. Oh, Shados getting taken so low and actually goes down to Bark, not allowing Liberty to pop his passive. But that's alright, because a kill is a kill at the end of the day, isn't it?
Yeah, Bark and Liberty still have yet to back. I mean, that was a very, very strong play there, and maybe the side of UOT not expecting the dive there, but Bark on the outside, a lot of strong base health and, you know, resistances, and Tam Jong, you see in the mid lane, putting some pressure down onto Zafros and not too phased there, up 20 CS at this point.
Something that we haven't really touched on yet is the top lane matchup. Oh, as Happy Camper is found by O2. O2 looking for a spear, not quite gonna land it. Oh, but the Rumble ultimate comes out long and manages to take him down. Sabtas.
Yeah, very strong gank there by Tam Jong, and realizing that he could come help his team, and O2 coupled with his team's help is doing so much work, and LU actually might get caught here. I mean, the Zafro walking towards the top lane, he is yet to know that he is there, and he might get taken away here. I mean, LU in some trouble right now, and Zafro only level 5 though, so Equilibrium Strike can come across here. Yeah, actually playing it properly, but no, flashing away, might get killed here. One more auto attack, and it's gonna use that ult to lifesteal off Zafro, and if Zafro was 60, that'd be a different story, I feel.
It would definitely be a different story, but unfortunately Zafro had to sort of reaction gank as opposed to proactive gank because Tam Jong left his lane. So there is no level 6, and unfortunately that means that there was no kill there. So a very nice proactive move by Tam Jong to move up top. I think that because of this Negatron cloak though, and later into the Abyssal Scepter, it means that Zafaro, if he wants to get some advantages in this game, should really look to roam to either side lane to get this, because they don't necessarily have as much magic resist as his mid lane counterpart.
Exactly, the kill potential mid lane is a lot less than it previously was, especially after seeing that Negatron cloak pick up. See if O2 can put a lot of pressure onto this blue buff. I mean, it's watered up, so he knows it's up, and he's trying to make Happy Camper's life, you know, a living hell right now. Stealing 2 buffs away already, and Liberty and Bark are demanding a lot of respect in the spot lane, so it's really easy for O2 on that jungle to kind of AS as he wants and play freely, because he doesn't need to gank his bot lane and help them out. I mean, Raven with that BF short against the Tristana with only the pickaxe. Actually, a lot of damage going on. LU going to go on top lane with Sabtus, going to hit him away, and Bark clearing this pink ward, just this normal ward behind the turret, and they might go for a dive here with Tam Jong, has that Rumble ultimate, and also has that Bark just going to pop ult there, and Liberty not even going to go into help, he's going to farm the wave away, and that ultimate timing out soon, but Billy Game might be taken down here. A lot of damage going on to Shados. Shados might get the spear hits, and getting this killer with Tam Zhong, and leaving it slightly low, and a very good play there by O2. Liberty not even needing to help there, just gonna farm the wave away, and looking to farm in these lanes. I mean, just a pure differential in all these lanes. I mean, what are your thoughts on this?
Every single lane is just so far ahead, and something that we haven't really mentioned is the way that these lanes are going to scale, because as you said, top lane, Jace needs a lot of items in order to do damage, and if he does decide to do damage, Tam Zhong gets caught.
Yeah, Tam Zhong is going to get 1-for-1 and actually get it out, but that Ignite does tick down, and that was a 1v2, but only a level 4 heavy camper there, so very hard for them to try, you know, do much, I mean, without that battery, but LU actually go in and dive. Very, very good play there by LU on that Aurelia. I mean, 2 levels up, and that's just the strength of Aurelia. I mean, doesn't even have a Sheen or a Phase completed yet, just raw damage on her base stats.
Well, that is an advantage that Aurelia has over Jace. Aurelia had a level 6 spike, something that Jace really misses because Jace starts at level 1 with his ultimate. It doesn't really have an ultimate in the sense, he only has a transform, so Jace's power was 26, and because they managed to make it 2-6 without too much of a lead, Aurelia just managed to take it from there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not quite sure what Septus is building right now. I mean, opting for a tankier Jace build, which is kind of weird. I mean, I usually like to see the Jace, actually a lot of damage going on Zafro, but Tam Zhong is going to tank it up and deal more damage in the return, so very good play there, and O2 gonna find Happy Camper here, might actually kill him across again, so O2 making this guy's life a living hell, as I've mentioned before, and team rotating mid might dive Zafro here, but weird automation by Jace. I mean, no Tear, no Last Whisper, even Viramana, actually, the flash by Fast gonna get taken away, but he's gonna tank it up. I mean, O2 gonna solo kill Zapdos here, what seems, and Tam Zhong and his team just doing work across the map. Yeah, Tam Zhong should be taken down the back end of that by Billy Gate, and very strong play there by the side of UOT and UoA respectively.
O2 just knows all about the Italy jungle. I mean, take a look. He's doing so much damage with nothing but a Cinderhulk, and I guess a needlessly large now. But no, it's actually Runeglaive. Sorry, I misread the situation. But yeah, O2 just doing so much damage there.
Yeah, I mean, the Runeglaive coupled with the needlessly large rod, I mean, that's so much damage at only 12 minutes in the game, and O2 knowing his champion limits, solo killing the full health Zapdos in the top lane, and I think already stole away the red buff. Yeah, he has stolen away the red buff, so, I mean, so much pressure on this map O2's been applying, and looking to try to kill Zapdos here. We have Happy Camper on the back end of that if something were to happen, and Happy Camper just too scared to go to his red buff and clear it out.
Like we were talking about just then, this is really the O2 show, this game, you know? He's just carrying so hard on Italy, and when I analysed the situation earlier, I said that Nidalee's more of a ganking jungler as opposed to a farming jungler, but if you take a look at the CS discrepancy, he's been keeping Happy Camper from being a farming jungler himself, and
yeah, and as you mentioned before, I mean, Nidalee actually killed my go across to LU. LU's gonna try to do his best to get out of here. Zafro's there on the back to try to help, but Michael Happy Camper in a consolation kill, and actually flashes away the distortion very well. Tam Zhong there for the counter help, and Zafro is stuck in a bad place here with LU. LU might use the equilibrium strike to stun him up, and Tam Zhong gonna let his friend die before he kills Zafro there. Bit of a troll, but very well played there by the team of UoA, being there to help each other, except for when Tam Zhong led LU on the top lane and Aurelia died.
Just a little bit of fun here. I mean, there's just so much of a lead at this point. We're taking...
Tara being taken down real quick, and a very strong play by Liberty and team. Bark, and might die here with Zato, and Zato's gonna get killed across here. Billy Gate and Happy Camper might get dove as well. Up pulling that ult. Billy Gate can do his best job with that Monsoon, and I mean, Happy Camper just ditched Billy Gate here, and the TP gonna go across unneeded, but very strong play there by the team. What are your thoughts on both of the team comps right now, and what can the team of UoT do to try to help out? Oh, and actually, Shadow Warrior DCing there real quickly, so you're stuck with me, guys, but very quickly, I mean, this game's gone from slight leads to extremely strong play by both Dream and his team. I mean, LU just diving heavy camper there. 1v2, 1v4 now. I mean, the team's kind of trying to rotate now, but not much left to do. And O2 there to help, but not really going to be needed. It's going to heal him up. And Zafro and team O2 might get taken away here. Might get shut down, but no. Zados a bit overzealous there. Only LU 1v, falling right now. And might get taken away from this explosive bomb. Actually living slightly and flashes, but doesn't get a second kill. So very unfortunate there. O2 and his team doing so much work, and I mean, there's not much that UoC can do at this point.
They're doing so well that even Dace is forced to build a Warden's Mail. I mean, at this point, I just can't envision a very easy road to come back for the University of Tasmania.
I mean, a 12k differential, I mean, at this point in the game, 15 minutes and 12k across the board. I mean, O2's been farming champions so far, and he's still out farming Happy Camper, made his life really hard in the jungle. I mean, started from that level 2 gank, and we actually see Liberty going for the IE build into the Brutalizer. What are your thoughts on this?
I into Brutalizer. That Brutalizer is definitely going to go into a... Oh man, the name escapes me. Into a Yumu's Ghostblade, so that's going to be a lot of damage, a lot of crit, a lot of attack speed. It's pretty much what every Draven needs in a mid-game teamfight, and because of this relatively smooth laning phase, he's going to get it super fast, and if they decide to teamfight with it, he's going to pick up even more.
Zhong is getting a kill on the back end of that with his equalizer, and so much raw damage, and Bark and Liberty might just 2v4 here. Heavy Camper being chunked down, the crit doing so much damage, and just gonna keep walking up. Billy Gay and his team gonna run away with that talisman, and there's so little they can do right now. Zephyr in the bush trying to be sneaky. Actually burst down Liberty quite a bit, but not enough damage. Liberty's gonna get monsooned away by Billy Gate there, and Zephyr trying to get a constellation kill and made to live here, but no, he's gonna die. Maybe just saw back, but it timed out, and Liberty gonna get more kills. And LU actually did help. Billy Gate might be taken down, gonna try flash away, but actually O2 on the back end. I mean, story of this game, O2 has always been there at the right time to help out a team.
O2 at this point doesn't even need to consider what build part is going for. I mean, right now it's just movement speed, it's just AP, it's CDR. These are all the stats that you want on a carry, and that's exactly what O2 is doing right now. Usually junglers build a little bit more supporty, but not when you get as ahead as this guy. And like talking about before, Draven goes into the Yumus. Oh, Happy Camper taking so low.
O2's just gonna jump over that wall very safely, and I mean, O2's show right now, Zephyr not doing enough damage on the LeBlanc. I mean, actually, LU gonna go for the dive. Might kill Zephyr and Shados here on the back end of that, and actually, they're sparing so much damage there to Shados and Tristana, but living by the nick of health, and they might just end up the game right here. I mean, only 18 minutes, but the goal differential's, edging near 20k right now.
A 20k gold lead and not even 20 minutes, you don't even have a chance to surrender at this point. It's fair to say that this game is a little bit of a whitewash, It's just so hard to envision a comeback right now for the University of Tasmania, as LU guys really help.
Yeah, and Liberty actually not getting a kill onto Sabotage, and actually does with that Draven ultimate on the back end of that, so very well played there by them. And LU, I mean, taking about 5 minutes, is still not going down there. Liberty almost two-shotting Happy Camper there on that Vi, and I mean, what does University of Tasmania do to try and get their heads in the game for the rest of the day? Because it's very easy to get the morales down after something like this.
All they need to do is, they need to say, we just lost this game. They need to analyze what they did. Maybe it was to pick some bans, They picked a fairly late game scaling comp. They had a LeBlanc, but that was pretty much it in order to keep them into the game. So they probably want to consider some other things that don't necessarily lose lane as hard as the Tristana, Janna, and they just want to, keep it out of their mind and play each game as a fresh one.
Yeah, it's extremely important that in games like this against something like quite high elo teams here, it may be better to opt for something like a comfort champion pick, because picking for a team comp opposed to comfort against something that is, a Challenger 5 team. I don't want to say it's going to be extremely hard, but it is difficult to try and utilize team comps against a team that's used it time and time again, especially as you mentioned before, the second place team last semester. I mean, coming here and missing a new team, so it is very hard for a team like Tasmania right now to try get their head in the game against something that's so much higher elo than them in terms of solo queue ranking and experience.
It's a new team. I think they need to put their heads down. I think they just need to take everything into perspective and just say, you know what, we're coming against number 2 right now. Oh, OUC actually being pushed back into the mountain there. His first death this game. This might be good time as any for the University of Tasmania to engage. But they just get absolutely slaughtered by Liberty here on the Draven, cashing in all of his fat stacks.
Yeah, Liberty just has that Yomun, has that IE, and this is doing so much damage. I mean, almost getting a quadra kill there, but LU actually taking the kill away, and City, she's two-shotting the Tristana right now. This is a disgusting amount of damage coming across from Liberty, and I mean, this is what happens when you beat a Draven. I mean, 10-0, one of that Draven, and doubling the CS of Shados, and it's very difficult right now for the team of University of Tasmania to even leave the base right now.
Oh, right now it's just Liberty in the base, 1v3. It wants to take down Jay, but not quite. Liberty's just got to manage to run out of here fairly safely. Those axes are just hitting like hell for a 20-minute game.
Exactly, the spinning axe is doing so much damage, and actually Zaffro trying to get the kill. Liberty's going to lifesteal up most likely, and there's not much that the team of UoT can do at this point. I mean, Liberty doing so much damage, and if you look at the Jason's build, it's almost the story of this game. He has Mercury tread, sorry. He has that Wooden's Mantle, he has that cloth armor. I mean, there's no damage there. He sold his Vamp Scepter. It's extremely hard for them to do anything at this point. They can't even leave their own base. Double inhibitors. Almost. I mean, they're probably going to end up the game fairly soon if they choose to. And also, they haven't bothered to take dragons. I mean, they're so far ahead at this point. Not really worried about objectives.
They've been too busy camping the enemy base in order to take dragons. It's sort of just a huddle, but on the other side, Shados getting half health by these spears. Snipe coming in from far distance downtown.
021 just doing so much work this game on that Nidalee, as we mentioned. I mean, I can't mention it enough. They might end it out here. Gonna try and get some kills, try and fix their KDAs, and Jong picking up a kill onto the back end. Zaffro has been taken out. Ignite, not doing enough damage. I mean, he was full health, and they might just push into the inhibitor here and just finish the game because they have other stuff to do. I'm not quite sure. Prepare for next game, obviously, but OUC actually might be taken down here by Sabotage, but Sabotage is not doing enough damage. Liberty gonna probably kill him, and does so. And this is probably going to be the game here.
Yes, it is. That's going to be a 22-minute game coming out from the University of Auckland. Fairly safe to say that that was a little bit of a whitewash against the Wood 7 Warriors from the University of Tasmania.
Yeah, a very strong showing there by the Dream, and gives a benchmark for the Wood Warriors to try strive for in these games and try to improve in the games to come. But the next game we are casting will be University of Tasmania Wood Warriors again versus University of Southern Australia. So if you guys want to join us at 3 o'clock, I believe, AST, we'll be back in roughly 20 minutes. So I'll see you guys then.